problem is that you have to go after the racist people. And if the CEO goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals and values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
People are fed up with The View because it has been a complete train wreck for ages with its absurd leftist views, anti-Trump agenda, and never-ending silliness.
You said
Tempers reached a boiling point backstage at The View between Whoopi Goldberg and TV judge Jeanine Pirro.
Republican presidential candidate Tim Scott facing some of his harshest liberal media critics head-on.
Not going very well for the ladies at The View. Whoopi Goldberg reportedly threatening to quit after getting suspended from the show for 2 weeks over her comment about the Holocaust. Whoopi's co-hosts are said to be furious with the decision. Here's how the show very briefly addressed
The entire devastation that took place live on television is explored in today's video. At The View, Tyrus, a political analyst and former professional wrestler, not only reacted against Whoopi Goldberg and the circus, but also set them on fire. The hosts of The View have crossed the line numerous times and gotten away with it since the show's beginning. Whoopi Goldberg, for example, made egregiously racist comments regarding the Holocaust.
not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
Because of the harsh criticism, she was momentarily suspended, but the network gave in and let her return as if nothing had happened.
News overnight, The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg suspended for 2 weeks for her comments about the Holocaust.
Tyrus took on this issue head-on a Fox News talk show, revealing the conflict between Whoopi and her co-hosts at The View. His comments were really ridiculous, and I can assure you that they will leave you stunned.
Conversations with people you're not comfortable with. And what we saw on that show was Whoopi was going down, her own personal beliefs were coming out, and her peers said she's hanging herself. Let's enjoy the fire.
Really? You think that?
They said, asked her a question again to get her to repeat it. Then you saw when your friend has been suspended, she's gone.
Next on the list is Sunny Holon, who openly attacked millions of white women for merely voting Republican.
But what's also surprising to me is the abortion issue. I read a poll just yesterday that white Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican.
Why?
It's almost like roaches voting for Raid, right? It's like they're voting against their own self-interest. Do they want to live in Gilead?
Okay, so do we love democracy or not? Because just saying.
And Joy Behar, who has basically made a career out of uttering illogical, polarizing drivel. Her most recent outbursts against Speaker Caroline Leavitt were so ridiculous that they resembled a parody of left-wing fanaticism.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
This is the first time
I think it's an accomplishment.
Tyrus joined presenter Greg Gutfeld and the other panelists on November 15, 2024, to talk about how Hollywood and traditional media were scrambling to adjust following the 2024 presidential election. This isn't a chat show. Rather, it's a full-fledged circus of liberal privilege where wild outbursts, cheap shots, and diluted perspectives are dressed up as strong criticism. They will no longer keep quiet because they have had enough of the arrogant hypocrisy.
A story in 5 words.
The times are a-changin'. Jim, I'm going to give you 3 great things that are happening. The LA Times is replacing its entire editorial board to more closely reflect all opinions. After Donald Trump's landslide win, Hollywood claims it's going to be more welcoming to conservative actors and less woke.
The conversation quickly shifted to The View and their apparent desire to hire a Trump supporter for the show, indicating that some people still sincerely want to replace all of this woke nonsense with actual mainstream entertainment.
Apparently, The View is desperate to find a Trumper to join. How long do you think this is going to last?
During the conversation, Tyrus brought up Meghan McCain, highlighting the exact harm that Whoopi Goldberg and her gang of racist liberals inflicted on her. Since, let's be honest, that doesn't sound like the panelists at all. This change surprised the rest of us and took them by surprise.
Media should stop covering those rallies of his. That's my one recommendation. It just empowers him more.
Yeah. That seems like a logical response to that question. I mean, come on, we're talking about social media's impact, and we jump to Trump's rally.
I jump wherever I damn please, okay? Hey, that's twice. Let me say that.
Not the topic.
That's twice. I'm not allowed to change the subject if I want to.
I just thought we were talking about social media.
All right, so you talk about it then.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned
Here's what's happening now. We're gonna
show
keep,
ever.
girl, please stop talking. Please stop talking right now. Cause you know what?
No
what's
problem.
happening?
You'll be surprised by the facts. Tyrus exposed The View's transition into a toxic carnival by tearing off the mask and exposing it as a total train crash.
It's not even that. And The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being attacked.
The audience responded favorably to Tyrus's critique, but don't believe me. See for yourself. He even had the guts to call them out by name. Let's face it, he deserves praise for not giving up.
Emily.
Tyrus's live stream devastation of Whoopi Goldberg and The View wasn't the only example. After Trump won the 2024 presidential election, the left went completely haywire and into chaos. The View's hosts were among the most unhinged. They went utterly mad in a beautiful way.
We talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep.
So
they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
Knock. Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
Hi, Whoopi, sorry.
Tyrus delivered a scathing retort because he couldn't stand this nonsense in a Fox and Friends first conversation.
All that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when oh no, nothing really comes to mind, I was like, cha-ching. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled.
That's not all, though. Tyrus went on to divulge all the remaining information regarding these women.
They also this should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last, they call them Hitler, they call these things, America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're gonna keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through your lies. So keep doing what you're doing. Game ball to Sonny.
Folks, there you have it. Tyrus obliterates Whoopi Goldberg and The View on live television, demonstrating that he is not holding back. Tyrus is clearly not holding back, as evidenced by the vicious takedowns and the complete disintegration of their arguments. What are your thoughts? Should Whoopi and the group just go now, or was this the best roast ever?